This week marks 17 years since the assassination of former Israeli Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin. The slain leader was a brave soldier, later a general during the 1967 Six-Day War, and he became one of Israel's defense ministers. But at the end of his life, he chose the path of diplomacy to solve the problem with the Palestinians. He secretly negotiated and signed the 1993 Oslo Peace Accords, which established the idea of a two-state solution, of an independent Palestinian state living side by side with Israel. Now, Rabin would pay for those political views with his life. At a peace rally back in November of 1995, a fellow Jew shot him dead. We wanted to ask Israelis how they remember Rabin and what they think of his legacy.
I think the big question is what his legacy is, and I think a lot of people kind of project what they thought he stood for. There are people who say he actually was not, he's very cautious about a two-state solution and was actually taking it very slowly and very carefully, and there are some people who say he would have advocated giving everything up right now. So that's the first question. I think the fact that so many people still talk about it and they still go to the commemoration services and it's still a debate means that his memory is absolutely alive today.
And I believe that Yitzhak Rabin was trying to basically do something for the country in regards to the so-called Palestinian issue. Yet on the other hand, we understand that the people that were against him plotted and basically assassinated him for no reason whatsoever. I mean, we do want peace in this country. Yet I understand, as I speak on terror, that the so-called Palestinians, as much land as you give them, they still want more. They want to conquer what they call their land, which is not.
I look at the loss of Rabin as something, a loss to the country, because I truly believe that if he had been there when the peace process went bad, he would have been the leader then to deal with that. And I remember a speech he made to the Knesset in 1993 saying that if things go wrong with the peace process, the IDF, the Israel Defense Forces, the strongest army in the world, would be there to deal with it. And I know that he would have been there towards the late 90s, early 2000s, as the peace process broke down into the second intifada. So it's a big loss for the country. And I remember him as a hero.
He was like a father figure for me, and was a shock when he was killed. And still, it's a loss that I don't know how to fill the gap. And he was really meant a lot to a lot of people in Israel.
I think maybe nobody can know. If he was alive today, maybe we already had peace. Maybe. Nobody is a prophet, in my opinion. That's what I think. Because I believe that he was a man that has the power and the initiative to do it. And I'm very sorry for what happened. What happened was a big disaster, also because nobody should press his opinion by murder or anything of violence. That's my opinion.
At the state's memorial service for Yitzhak Rabin, Israel's President Shimon Peres spoke very highly of his former political partner. Remember, back then, Peres was Rabin's right-hand man in signing the Oslo Peace Accords and served as Israel's foreign minister. Peres praised Rabin for laying the foundations of negotiations with the Palestinians and said it strengthened ties with the U.S. and bolstered Israel's international standing. But above all, Peres said that Rabin never lost sight of the fact that maintaining security was paramount, along with keeping social justice. Jordana Miller, JN1, Jerusalem.